If you're a working mum, then you are more likely to be familiar with the feelings of guilt about not being at home more with your children, but don't. Daughters of working mothers have better careers and earn more than those whose mums stayed at home. So, Nadia, do you think this makes you feel less guilty about being a working mum?
I mean, I wake up every morning and do my guilt checklist. You know, it's kind of an addiction that comes along with motherhood. But you know what? It's not so much about guilt. I miss them. I really miss them when I go to work, and I'm really loving now that I work a lot less and I get to see them. So
and they're home
that will never change.
Well, so...
Yeah, and they're homeschooled now.
Yeah.
As I look back, it's not guilt. It's loss. That time that I didn't have for them. And I was really lucky to have a stay-at-home mum. You know, always came home. There she is. Always came home to fabulous meals, and my mum to rant at and to hate and everything that you need to do with your mum. But my mum actually, being a stay-at-home mum, gave me a really strong work ethic, because I looked at her and I thought it's really hard what she does all day long, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
Unpaid.
And I actually thought, oh, crikey, that's hard. I'm going to get myself out to work.
My mother went out to work, and I was one of those kids that came home from school and she wasn't there, and my dad was working. But my goodness, every weekend I had to work. You know, I had to do the ironing, the hoovering. I didn't get any pocket money unless I worked. So the minute I went out to work, I got a cleaner. But I think it's true that if your mum goes out to work, the idea of work is normal. You just think it's part of your life. And also, I wanted to do better jobs than my mother had, because she worked in a shop and eventually she lied about her qualifications to get a job in the civil service, which I thought, you know, fair play to her. She was smart. She just said she had more qualifications than she did have. And when she went on holiday, I did her job. You know, I did her job on a temporary basis. But I do think that I did inherit that work ethic from having both parents go out to work. And I did want to be really successful from about the age of 11 or 12.
I do agree with the research in so much as it normalises the whole thing of women working. Yeah. It's funny, you know, there's a song in the charts at the moment, I got bills, I gotta pay. It doesn't sound like that. But every time it comes on, my kids go, that's your song, Mum, because that's what I say to them, you know, and they say, why have you got to go to work today?
But Mum's
I've got bills to pay.
Works so hard. I mean, I'm one of 3 sisters who've all got incredibly strong work ethic, and we got that actually from my mum.
It's much harder
because she works so hard at home.
Actually. I find it, you know, the times I have been at home, I just find it really difficult and actually a little bit boring, I have to confess. Yeah. So I'm very happy. But it's funny you talk about the guilt that you feel. I've never, ever, ever felt guilt about... I am the mum that I am. Yeah. And I never feel guilt about that. You know, I'm a good mum, and I would always say to my kids, if they ever did say anything to me, I would just say, well, I am paying the bills. Bog off. I'm paying the bills. And that's the way it's going to be, you know. And I was a single parent for a while, so that absolutely was the way it was going to be. And my mum was a single parent, so very much like you, I'd come home, let myself in, or I'd go to my auntie who lived next door, who wasn't really my auntie. Yeah. Fine. Absolutely fine. I never had any problems at all with it. But it's a fascinating study. I mean, I was looking, they've done 10 years. It's from Harvard. 25 countries, 50,000 adults, which is a big spread. But what I thought was quite interesting was that men who had working mothers turned out they didn't have any effect on them in the workplace, but they're better around the house.
Yeah. So win-win. There we go.
Win-win.